Alright, everybody, welcome back to yet again another 2022-2023 season preview, and today we're taking a look at the Colorado Avalanche today, your Stanley Cup champions in 2022. Now, we obviously, what's really to say? They won the Stanley Cup. I'm wearing their Stanley Cup hat for this year. Just an amazing year overall from the Avalanche, as per usual. This year they went 56, 19, and 7 for 119 points. They scored 312 goals and only let in 234, and obviously they won the 2022 Stanley Cup, their third Stanley Cup in franchise history. Their leading scorer was not Makar, not McKinnon, not Landeskog, but Mikko Rantanen with 36 goals, 56 assists for 92 points. And then their goalie in net that led them all the way to the Cup was Darcy Kuemper with a 37-12-4 record with a 2.54 goals against average. What is really to say about last season besides it was the year where they got it done, where this team was believed to be a Cup team for so many years. They just couldn't get past the second round. That really made people doubt them. It made me doubt them, especially. I had my points where I did doubt the Avalanche and whether or not they were going to get past the second round. In fact, I was watching my earlier previews, and last year I said this was a team that it's like the Maple Leafs of the second round, where they just couldn't get over that second round hump. And when I knew that when they finally did, I thought they would go all the way. And what do you know? They did. So, Toronto fans, there's hope. Although they did win the Cup, which was great, they did have a pretty eventful offseason and some very big departures. Starting off with Nazem Kadri, Andre Burakovsky, Darcy Kuemper, Nicholas Aube-Kubel, Nico Sturm, Ryan Murray, and Jack Johnson. So some big departures there. Kadri, Burakovsky, big top six players gone. They're gonna definitely hurt. Darcy Kuemper, obviously your starter who led you to the Cup, is gone. Some depth players in Aube-Kubel, Sturm, Murray, and Johnson, they're all gone as well. They all played big roles, or key roles, or some pretty decently big roles in the Cup run. So obviously these players will be remembered forever in Colorado because they won them a Stanley Cup. But it is unfortunate to see this team kind of go, because this team actually was really enjoyable to watch go all the way to the Stanley Cup, and they still can next year, but it just won't feel the same. This was an amazing run for this team, and it's unfortunate to see all these players go. As for your acquisitions, there isn't that many besides goaltenders. Alexander Georgiev and Jonas Johansson are your two goaltenders who have come into the plate for the Colorado Avalanche this season. So really no big acquisitions, some big departures, but this team kind of still is the same. You look at their top six, you have Gabriel Landeskog, Nathan McKinnon, and Mikko Rantanen, and then you have Artturi Lehkonen, Alexander Newhook, and Valeri Nichushkin. Seeing Newhook take that top six role as a center now, since Nazem Kadri is obviously gone. He's really going to play a huge role now for the Avalanche, definitely. So we'll see how he does playing second line. But it should be pretty interesting. Obviously, this team still has their huge star power, Landeskog, McKinnon, and Rantanen. So they're still a superstar team. You look at their bottom six, you have Andrew Cogliano, JT Comfer, and Drew O'Connor. Then you have Sampo Ranta, Darren Helm, and Martin Kaut. Then you have Lucas Sediak, Ben Myers. I don't know some of these people, actually. And then you also have Oscar Olausson there as well. So you have some players there in depth, but you're really going to rely on some of these younger players to come into the lineup and play well. But overall, for the most part, this still is that Stanley Cup team. It really is still that Cup team. That bottom six looks the same. Cogliano, Helm, and O'Connor were some of my favorite players to watch on that bottom six. And that is what I love about runs like this. For two teams, even the Lightning that I've seen do these runs for the past 3 years, the Stars, the Canadiens, and the Avalanche, all these teams that go to the finals, you really do see how good their bottom sixes are, and just some of the players that really, kind of hold it together on the back end, physically, defensively, and sometimes even offensively as well. It really is impressive, and that is something I did really realize with Cogliano, Helm, and O'Connor, and some of those other players down below there with the Colorado Avalanche. You look at their defense there, you have Taves and Makar as your first pairing without question. You have Josh Manson and Samuel Girard as your second pairing. Then you have Bowen Byram and Eric Johnson as your third pairing. Then you have Andreas Englund and Curtis McDermott as your extra defenders. So obviously, still a superstar defense. I would argue that's the best defense in the league, even though it did take... actually, no, it really didn't take a toll. I was about to say Jack Johnson was a big loss. Jack Johnson was your best player for the... No, I'm kidding. So, they still have pretty much the same defense and the same superstar defense that they had heading into this playoffs and when they won the cup. Obviously, your goaltending, though, is probably your biggest part where things have changed. You have Alex Georgiev and Pavel Francouz, then you have Jonas Johansson as your third-string goaltender. I don't mind Pavel Francouz being your starter. I know I said Georgiev first, but I think Francouz will take the role as a starter because Francouz has proven, not only in regular season but in playoffs as well the past few years, that he is a starting goaltender. And I believe that to the end because the Avalanche faced so many goalie injuries in 2020, Grubauer being out, even Hutchinson had to play for a little bit there, and Francouz came in, carried them to Game 7 of the second round, and then you saw him play some games this season in the playoffs for Colorado with Kemper being out with that eye injury. That eye injury was really worrisome for me personally, but obviously Francouz there came in and played well. He's definitely earned the starter role, 100%. You look at your biggest questions, I don't really have any. The only question I have here is back-to-back. And really, in all honesty, when I look at this team, it's more, there's some big departures. Kadri, Burakovsky, and Kemper, I'd say, are the biggest. But more or less, this kind of is almost the same team that won this cup. So I think they definitely can go for back-to-back, 100%. Anyways, here you look at your point projections for 2021 or 2022, 2023, according to the Hockey News' fantasy guide there. They have Nathan McKinnon leading the way with 102 points, as per expected. You have Mikko Rantanen in second there with 95. Then you have Cale Makar leading the way for probably every single defenseman with 90. Then at 80, at 79, you have Gabriel Landeskog. And then you have Valeri Nichushkin in fifth with 53. One thing I forgot to mention with Valeri Nichushkin, he took a huge step up for the Avalanche, definitely. And he was an incredibly underrated player through all those cup runs, 100%. Your sleeper or your bust actually goes to Bowen Byram. The Avs' free-flowing style is the perfect system for offensive-minded Bowen Byram to thrive. It'll be his first full season after an injury-riddled start of his career, with top 4 minutes in what every power play time is left by Cale Makar. So I do have him on the third pairing, but I think he will definitely get top 4 minutes. There with the Avalanche, probably second pairing when he gets the chance. That Avalanche defense really is deep, though, so it really is unfortunate to throw Byram down to the third pair, but I think he probably will get a lot more top 4 minutes than people may think. So it really does rely on him to become a really solid defenseman there, and I think he has the potential to do so. But anyways, moving on to your question, do they make the playoffs? I said yes in 2021. I said yes in 2022. Without question, yeah, they make the playoffs unless something freakish happens where all their players get injured and they just can't play. But the odds of that happening are slim to none. So without a question, Avalanche make the playoffs. Really, the question is, do they win back-to-back? That's your question right now. I think they can, definitely. This team has definitely earned it. They've gone through all the struggles. And I think they definitely have earned it to maybe go back-to-back, and I think they can. But nonetheless, we'll find out in a few months. So anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all very much for watching. For all our supporters of late, I really do appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe down below if you are new. Anyways, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Adios.